This insane scandal around the Baltimore Police Department. An elite gun trace task force for the Baltimore PD was indicted in 2017 and is now in the middle of a trial. And over the course of the trial, details have emerged exposing over 4 years of corruption and abuse. This task force was supposed to get guns off the street, something Baltimore has struggled with for many years. But instead, this group spent years planting evidence, arresting without warrants, stealing from defendants, abusing overtime, selling drugs and guns they confiscated, and getting them back out onto the streets. But they were finally caught by the FBI with the help of internal affairs and the use of a secret recording device. And so these 7 men were indicted, and all of them pled guilty except for Daniel Herschel and Marcus Taylor. And over the past week, we've gotten a lot of testimony detailing years of abuses, theft, corruption in the unit. Things like nearly every defendant had their salary doubled because of bogus overtime. So instead of the average base of around $72,000, they'd essentially double it. They've stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. They're also facing racketeering charges and face decades in prison. Also, some of the very specific stories that have come out are crazy. Reportedly, the task force with Sergeant Jenkins would drive fast at groups of people, slam on the brakes, and see who ran. And whoever ran, they would just chase down and detain, no probable cause. And according to testimony, this would happen 10 to 20 times on a slow night and over 50 on good ones. There's another story about officers who stopped and arrested a man by the name of Mr. Stevenson. They took his house keys. They then got his address through a police database, went to the house without a warrant, broke in, found drugs and a safe. They crack open the safe that reportedly has $200,000 inside of it. They end up taking $100,000 and, according to Mr. Stevenson's wife, some expensive watches as well. They then seal it back up, and the officers then record themselves opening it for the first time. There's footage of Sergeant Jenkins saying, "Nobody touch anything." Then, after that incident, they listened to Mr. Stevenson's call with his wife while in jail. The wife was coordinating the legal defense, and the police wanted her out of the picture, so they went to his house and they put a note on the door claiming to be another woman that he got pregnant. Detective Ward, who pled guilty, also testified that Taylor had a source in internal affairs that tipped him off that he was being investigated. Officer Ram testified they once recovered 1.5 pounds of marijuana and a gun before they had a warrant. Jenkins told them to just get rid of it, so they sold it back onto the streets. Ram admitted to stealing $11,000 from an arrestee. He also recounted that in 2006, his partner was shot. It was widely believed to be an anti-police motivated move, but it was actually because they were both heavily involved in the drug trade. It was a bail bondsman that worked with Sergeant Jenkins to sell drugs. Reportedly, Jenkins would bring him drugs nearly every night. So much so that the bondsman said that he thinks that he made over $1 million selling drugs and gave between $250,000 to $500,000 to Jenkins. Also, when stopping suspected drug dealers, Jenkins would pretend to be a DEA officer and then take their drugs and weapons. But then he'd let the people go, saying they weren't his target, and then he'd sell those drugs and guns. They would also, I know that there's so many things, but it just has to be told. They would also reportedly take fake firearms and BB guns in their vehicles to plant on people. Now there, based on the evidence, it's unclear whether they planted a gun or not, but some of the officers, when arrested, did have fake guns in their vehicles. And they're not even done yet. Holy hell. I mean, with the stories that we've covered out of Baltimore, I mean, I can't fault anyone for not feeling safe. The last thing I want to do is label all police officers or all Baltimore PD as these guys. When you see that this was able to exist and thrive for many years, untested, I mean, how can those people really be expected to trust? And the overtime situation is actually bigger than just this story. Right now, Baltimore PD spends about $1 million per week on overtime. It's gotten so bad that there are reports that Baltimore PD is planning on making their officers scan their fingerprint at the beginning and end of their shift to prove they actually did it. With that said, I want to pass the question off to you, and it really is just an opinion and a feeling thing. When you see this story, when you see stories like this, what does this make you feel? Do you think that it's the bad apple situation, or you think there's a lot more corruption than a lot of people want to believe? I'd love to know your thoughts there. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you like this video, you like what I try and do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here,
I don't know why I'm getting a cold right now, because I haven't even done anything. But yeah, what is going on, you guys? It is your truly the real Sakurai, and I just wanted to, you know, play that clip and have it in the background and just listen to what Phillip Defranco was saying about this, because this happened a couple. Well, this was an article that popped up on my news feed on Facebook a couple of days ago, and it was basically just as he said it. 7 Baltimore police were finally caught doing this dumb shit, and I gotta tell you, as a guy living in Baltimore, Maryland, his entire life. As a kid, all the way up till now. Going to school, coming back from school. Last year, getting jumped by 2 thugs who, well, not even thugs, but just a bunch of lowlifes, like two lowlifes who had nothing better to do. Didn't get anything out of me at all, but just wanted to see if they could get over on me, and they didn't. Dealing with that, and then dealing with the fact that, now I'm praying every day that I don't encounter a cop like that who is going to incriminate me because I'm a civilian. And because they have that badge, they feel as though they can plant evidence, false evidence that I did something, that I did this, that I did that. Let me tell you something. I live in this city. Alright, I look at everything. I'm an observer. If any of you who know me, because I'm gonna put this on Facebook, and it's going to turn some heads. If any of you know me, I am an observer. I'm very quiet when it comes to these things, because when it comes to these things, I want to know what's about to go down. And I started this in high school. I began to go do it in college, and I'm doing it now. I'm just observing my surroundings and the people who act the way they act. And a lot of times, if I've stopped talking to you, it's because I realize that you are not a person with good intentions. You are not a person who I can call a friend or an ally. You're a person who has his or her own intentions, and you don't care who you hurt. You don't care who has different feelings, different opinions, and you just want to do your own thing and think that everything is okay. And I'm here to tell you that no, it's not. Because if you are doing that, then you are no better than these 7 men who literally just did what they felt like doing. Selling all that crap, incriminating innocent people. And the people on the streets, they're just as bad. Because whether you look at it either on the streets or through that badge, they're all doing the same shit. They're selling drugs, pills, weapons. And people want to know where the hell they're getting it from. They're getting from this. Vice versa. In some cases. I'm just so tired of having to explain as to why I don't follow this crowd. I am tired of having to explain why I don't talk to certain women who act like they don't got no doggone sense. I am tired of having to explain why I feel as though a lot of these men out here in this city act the same exact way. They think they can say whatever they want, that they can do whatever they want, and when they get caught, it's like it's the end of the world. You've insulted them, you cussed at them, you did all this stuff to them, but you never even said one word to it except call them out on them being wrong. And of course, it's not always the case, but it's the truth. That's the thing that we have got to understand. When the truth is in your face, own up to it. Don't keep on making lies about something. Don't cause a scene where people are making a big fuss over it. Because that's, in my old job, that's what happened. It was at one point in time. It's another story that I haven't said yet. This story was about this young black kid. It's a very young black kid. Not even young black kid, but he was in his teens. I was at work. He came up in there. Of course, he was stealing or whatever. Stole detergent and many other toiletries, and I believe food. But I think it was a small portion. It was two containers of washing fluid, like Tide and whatever. Stole that and a couple of other things. And what he did was he went into the community bathroom, the bathroom that we had at the supermarket. Put it all in the bag, and then try to make it seem like, oh, there's nothing in the bag, so I'm just gonna roll out of here. And then when he got caught, he tried to make it seem like this other older black guy, was the one who stole his stuff that was in his bag that belonged to him. Let me say it again. He tried to make it seem like the other guy took his stuff, and he tried to make it seem like it was his, when it really wasn't. And then when the cops finally showed up, they knew what was going down. They knew because it was the same person, the same young kid. Because he's done it like a couple more times. Kept stealing stuff, trying to get out the store, and he got caught. And it's the third time, and it's like not even the third, the fourth time he did it. And he had just came back from jail from doing that. The same thing. Which means that you still did not learn at all. And that to me is the big sentence of truth that we have to understand and call out on. We have to call out on our own shit and own up to it and stop making excuses. And then when y'all think it's all over and done with, you go back to partying, you go back to getting your drugs, you go back to getting all this drug money that you're only gonna have for a week, because the next week or the next couple of days you're gonna be broke again, buying shit that you don't even need, putting stuff on you that you don't even need. It's sad to say that half of the population in my city is now on weed. Everyone's smoking weed. Almost everybody I know, other than a handful of people, are smoking weed. There's motherfuckers who have, like, the day their check comes out, they have to get a pack of weed. Well, a bag of weed, not even a pack, but like a small portion of weed. Not even that, but like a good portion of weed, and that's half they check, if not the whole thing. And then they have a little bit left to get what they needed to get in the first place. How does that work in your mind? Why should that be the first priority that you take? Instead of doing something else, instead of, having something else to look forward to. No, you look forward to smoking. There's people in my city that they cannot do anything without smoking weed. Get up. If just getting up in the morning, they have to smoke weed. To eat, they have to smoke weed. To drink, they have to smoke weed. to go out and just have fun. They have got to smoke weed. To go to the movies, they gotta smoke. Just to deal with, you know, adult-like things, you gotta smoke weed. Because if you don't, you're not gonna be yourself. Why should that make you yourself? Was weed there for you the day you were born? Was weed there for you when you went to elementary school? Was weed, well, in some of these cases, for these young kids now, it probably is. But was weed there for you when the day you were born? That defines who you are? That amplifies you? That makes you who you are? What about just waking up in the morning thanking God that you're able to see another day? What about just going to somewhere with your friends, going out to eat, and just having a good time without consuming something? Without consuming some shit? Something to make you high, something to make you out of it, something to make you smell like, well, cause to me, I'm sorry, but for me, weed, it smells like grass on a hot summer's day that was spat on and left in the sun. That's literally what it smells like to me. It smells just like that. It is the nastiest smell I ever smelled in my life. And the fact that it's consumed the entire city. The entire city. It's ridiculous. And it's more than, you know what, it's honestly, it's more than just weed. It's like, you know, alcohol too, because some people can't seem to go a day without drinking. Some people can't seem to go a day without smoking. Some people can't even seem to go a day without acting a goddamn fool. Making a fool out of yourself. But I'm the one who is looked at as the deranged, the strange, weird person, because I put on stuff like this, because I don't smoke or drink, and if I drink, it's sake, and that's often, but well, not often, but occasionally, on special occasions like my birthday, Christmas, 4th of July, New Year's, you know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And it's not even that much. It's like, you know, like a couple of little containers like this. Little shots like this. Just little things like this. And that's the warm sake. When I want, you know, like, you know, cold sake or whatever, I will pour it in a wine glass and just drink it. And if I wanted more, I would just have a second helping, and that's it. That's it. Because I don't need nothing else. The city is going to hell in a handbasket. And if anybody who doesn't see that, they're obviously ignoring it. If you can't see this city, from its boarded up houses, to cops doing this, to people who live in Baltimore that's amplifying the shit. If you can't see all of this, and then when, you know, some real stuff goes down, we're all in the uproar, but it only lasts for a good week. And then after that, they're all back to normal. They're all back to their daily consumption of all that crap. Of all that crap. People being fake to one another. People getting into fights. Girls having kids by pieces of crap men. And at the time, the women don't even want the kids. It's mostly to just gain something. other than love from the child. This place is going to hell. It's getting blown up to smithereens. And it's only gonna get worse. And these people who are in power in Baltimore, the mayor, from the police department, and just all of them in general, it's all being amplified. Everybody's amplifying the stuff, and they don't understand what's wrong. They don't understand what's wrong with it. And that's the thing that I know is going to be the downfall of this city. It's already being lit on fire. The only thing about it is the fire hasn't gotten big enough yet. And when it gets big enough, nobody is safe. Not even me. If I don't get out of here before it's too late, it's gonna be me. If my little sister doesn't get out of here before it's too late, it's gonna be her, because they're gonna find some reason to attack us, like they did last year when I got jumped. Some way, shape, or form, we're gonna get attacked by this crap and get affected by it. If we haven't gotten affected by it already and we don't even know it. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to voice my opinion and say something about this, because it is honestly ridiculous. I made this YouTube channel to express how I felt about everything, and I hope I still get to do that, and I hope I still get to live to see tomorrow, go to my new job, and just enjoy life without having to fall into this false sense of security that you need whatever the hell everybody else in the city is on, just to live functionally, just to be functional, to be a decent human being. This has been the Real Sakurai, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.